Well, Steve, not only was there a lot of good racing action here at Bristol this past weekend, there was also a lot of news.
Including our own Randy Pemberton, who usually carries this portion of the program. Randy is recovering from back surgery he had in a Charlotte hospital last weekend.
And Neil Bonnet is recovering from amnesia from the wreck in Darlington. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett has replaced him in the Citgo Ford.
Well, I guess right now it's just kind of a week-to-week deal to see when Neil Bonnet's going to be able to get back and get in the Citgo Ford. But I'm available until he gets back, and it's kind of gone from a situation where I didn't have anything Winston Cup to where I've got a couple of things here. And
meanwhile, Jarrett has secured backing from Charlotte businessman Gary Bechtel to run 4 or 5 Winston Cup races, possibly beginning at Charlotte in May. Harry Gant's father, J.C. Gant, passed away just prior to the Bristol weekend. Rick Wilson filled in for Harry on Saturday, and Phil Parsons subbed in the Skull Oldsmobile Sunday.
Today's Winston Cup highlights are brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Ernie Irvin started from the pole for the first time in his career in front of 31 cars and another record crowd. But he didn't stay there very long. In the opening laps, Irvin's Oldsmobile broke loose and went careening down the back stretch. Moments later, points leader Dale Earnhardt fell victim to the treacherously slick track in the very same spot. Earnhardt's crew performed black magic to get his Chevy back in the race, but the man in black lost 40 laps. Bill Elliott was the next victim out of turn 2 on lap 48. Elliott's car was also damaged and went many laps down. The hits just kept on coming. Derek Cope was the first car out of the race, and he was followed soon after by hard luck Alan Kowicki. Dale Jarrett, subbing for Neil Bonnet, led for 39 laps before losing it on the front stretch. Davey Allison popped Rob Moroso just 8 laps later for the 8th of 13 cautions. Winston Cup champion Rusty Wallace blistered the turn 4 wall on lap 222 and finished a dismal 28th. Jeff Bodine, who called the track conditions, quote, absolutely ridiculous, had further problems after this tussle with Dave Marcus and the turn 1 wall. Remarkably, Michael Waltrip ran the entire race after his scary incident the day before. Dick Trickle wasn't as lucky as his Pontiac set sail in the Bermuda Triangle of turn 2. Dave Marcus had a strong afternoon until he lost control on lap 391. While all the leaders pitted, Davey Allison stayed out and assumed the lead. Darrell Waltrip, the Bristol Slayer, had been reeling Allison in until he cut a tire down with just 26 laps to go and was forced to pit. The final lap saw a frenzied battle as Mark Martin, Sterling Marlin, and Ricky Rudd scratched and clawed for the checkered flag. On the final lap, Ricky Rudd nudged Sterling Marlin and his Oldsmobile out of contention. Back up front, Mark Martin stomped on the gas and drove his T-Bird down low in turn 4. But it was Davey Allison by a nose for his first win of 1990 and 7th career win overall.
We gambled there on that last caution flag to stay out on old tires. Our Texaco, Haviland, Humminbird, Thunderbird ran better on old tires than it did on new tires, and we knew our only chance of getting up front was to stay out. We knew we could go the distance. It was just a question of whether we could hold off Darrell and Mark or not, and it paid off. We're here in Victory Lane, and man, I'll tell you, I don't think there's anybody that's turned the season around from as low as we were to as high as we are right now.
Still to come on this edition of Inside Winston Cup Racing, we'll have the highlights of the Budweiser 250, and we'll talk in further detail with Dale Jarrett.
And as we leave you for this break, here's the balance of the finishing order of the Valleydale Meets 500.